The Hill lays out 5 big things to watch for during the president's speech tonight. In addition to the economy, of course, you heard Aisha going into detail on that. They are what he says about Iran, tension with the U.S. Supreme Court justices after the tariff decision they just made, and remarks on immigration and custom enforcement agents. His messaging for the midterm elections and Democrats' reaction to his speech. It is a big night ahead. And you know who's been there? Ari Fleischer, White House press secretary under George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. Great to see you today. This is always a pivotal moment for a president. You can pivot to more success. You may have to clean things up. How would you describe it as a moment for President Trump?
Well, 30 million or so Americans are going to watch, so it's, of course, a big moment by definition. And his task tonight is to really focus on patriotism and the economy and wrap the two together. This is a rare chance where presidents, really because of the theatrics of this type of speech, can make America, remind America of the great patriotic things that unite us. And President Trump needs that because it's been so polarizing. You want to be called to a higher purpose. The second part of that is the economy. This is a great chance for him to shape the singular biggest issue coming into 2026 and up through the November election. How is the economy? Is it getting stronger? Make the case realistically. Don't overbrag. Realistically, how is the economy getting stronger and how will the American people benefit? That's it.
Does he acknowledge the fact that a high number, more than 3 dozen, I believe now it's up to, Democrats will not actually be there, that they're holding their own rally? Does he acknowledge that or move on and just say, you know what, it's my night?
Well, if I were him, I would just say it's my night. Other people are going to acknowledge that for him. People are going to see that. And it's regrettable, Harris. This is what I really hate. This spirit of Democrats and Republicans listening to the president is important to the fabric of America. I don't care how much you don't like a president. You owe him the honor of sitting there, listening, and then differ all you want. Take it home. Go to your constituents. Go on TV. But you at least owe the nation the service of sitting there and listening to the president, no matter what party they are.
All right. One of the things being talked about today, and you would think that it would be total agreement in every account, but some of the U.S. men's hockey team players being invited to the White House, don't know yet if that's confirmed, but also the State of the Union tonight. And some criticism around that, but a whole lot of celebrating because look at this.
Everything is so political. We're athletes. We're so proud to represent the U.S. And when you get the chance to go to the White House, meet the president, we're proud to be Americans, and that's so patriotic. So no matter what your views are, we're super excited to go to the White House tomorrow and just be a part of that.
I mean, patriotism on full display. Ari.
Yeah. Amen. I mean, think about if this hockey team had won 2 years ago and President Biden was in office. Would Republicans be so foolish as to diminish those who are cheering USA, USA, USA? Would they be so foolish as to criticize hockey players if they went to the Biden White House? Of course not. So it's a terrible mistake for the Democrats to put their political feelings or thoughts onto the actions of athletes. Athletes are not political. I do a lot of work in sports. And this country loves athletes who love America. People who take a knee during the national anthem, I guess they have the right to do that, but they are a distinct minority that is way out of touch with the American people. It's in touch with the media, but out of touch with the American people. This hockey team is in touch with the American people, having nothing to do with politics, just love of country. We should all celebrate this hockey team.
Amen. I mean, look, they all got it started. The starting goalie, Connor Hellebuck was incredible with his very patriotic flag-covered helmet that he wore, and he made so many saves during that game. And, of course, we just heard from Jack Hughes, who in overtime put the puck in the net. Yeah, he's from Jersey, by the way, just saying. All right, Ari, I know we touched on this at the top of your comments. House Democrats reportedly urged civility during the speech from their caucus and then said this.
My current plan is to attend. We're not going to Donald Trump's house. He's coming to our house. It's my view that you don't let anyone ever run you off of your block.
Can you give that some context, maybe, Ari? While many are ditching, the Democrats who attend could do an Al Green, the Texas Democrat, remember him, got kicked out of the president's address last time to Congress for repeatedly heckling the president. Democrat Senator John Fetterman says there is no place for this.
I do hope all the other Democrats that choose to come, that we don't do the same kinds of things that happened at the last year. I mean, it was really undignified. And just the thing, no, I don't care who the president is. Don't yell and disrupt that. It's like you really should respect the office.
Context for this, Ari.
Yeah, I thought what Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, said was fair. If they view that as their house, that's fine. Let them differ with the president. But what he's saying is he's going to attend. He is going to go there. He won't like it, but he's going to honor the country and act in the way that we have for generations in that great chamber. So I liked to hear that. But, you know, Harris, I remember George Bush, when he got elected after the recount, Democrats boycotted his first address to Congress. They boycotted his inaugural. This idea of boycotting the other party, Democrats love to do it because they cannot stand for tolerance. They cannot accept other views. And it is one of their biggest Achilles heels. So if I'm the president tonight, if there are outbursts, if there are disruptions, let the spotlight shine on the Democrats' foolishness. Don't amp it up. Don't raise them one as if it was a poker match to see who could be more in your face. Let the Democrat mistakes shine. The fact that all these progressives are having their own event on the Mall is in some ways good because it stops them from going into the chamber and acting badly.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of yet another Democrat-led shutdown right now. They could talk about that. Ari Fleischer, thank you very much. Be sure to keep it right here and watch.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.